Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special day here on the campus of West Virginia University, our annual WVU Sports Hall of Fame induction. And as you can see before us today, we have got quite a class for 2018. Athletes that have brought us to our feet, athletes that have bonded us together as Mountaineer Nation. And over the next several minutes, we will hear from them, we will see some of their exploits as we bring them into this very, very elite class of West Virginia University student athletes. Think about this. Over time, over 120 plus years of student athletics at West Virginia University, there have been over 100,000 Mountaineer athletes, over 100,000. To get to this is the absolute pinnacle. What an accomplishment it is. And I was just telling these guys up here, you're probably in the 1 percentile of athletes to reach this level. So thank you, all of you, for being with us today. As we bring on this class, would you please welcome the Director of Athletics, Shane Lyons.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you all for being here today. It's a great class, as Tony has said, and it's always wonderful for the opportunity I have as Director of Athletics to be able to be here today. This is my 4th class. This is the 28th class overall that's been inducted into the WVU Hall of Fame. So again, please give them a welcome to be here today. You know, we get to welcome these great Mountaineers back to campus each and every year. Some of them have not been back in a number of years. Some have been back, more normal. But it's something special to be able to come back and be able to say that you are a member of the WVU Sports Hall of Fame. As Tony mentioned, with over 100,000 student athletes who've walked and played and participated in intercollegiate athletics at West Virginia University, the great accomplishments that these individuals have had in their collegiate career is something very special. And it's special because they get to spend it with fans, families, loved ones that have been there to support them over time. As I mentioned, each of today's inductees made great contributions to the rich tradition and history of WVU athletics. I want to thank them for their dedication, their pride, and passion for the gold and blue. They will always be part of our rich history and tradition, and they will always be Mountaineers. I know you'll see and hear a little bit later videos about each and every one of their contributions that they made to WVU athletics and their induction to the WVU Hall of Fame. But let me take a few moments and welcome each of these inductees and talk a little bit about their accomplishments that they have achieved. First, Kate Bulger. Kate? Absolutely. Kate was a 4-year letter winner in women's basketball. She scored more than 1,700 points and became the first Mountaineer drafted by the WNBA. John Capon was a dominating goalkeeper for the men's soccer program. Let's hear it for John. John and I were talking before, and I said I promised not to announce you as Al Capone, so it is John Capone. But John recorded 28 career shutouts and earned All-American honors in soccer in 1981. Next, Avon Coburn. Avon finished his career as the Big East all-time leading rusher. He's the only Mountaineer to ever score 4 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons. And Avon is still WVU's all-time career-leading rusher with more than 5,000 yards gained. Welcome, Avon. Bev Fry-Plotke, women's gymnastics. Bev. Currently one of the nation's top gymnastic coaches, Bev has led the Mountaineers to 3 appearances in NCAA regional championships while her time here at WVU. I will share a side story. Bev and I were in school together. We spent some Friday and Saturday evenings together. So I'll leave it at that. But no, it's great to have Bev back on campus. Not Friday, I shouldn't have said it that way, right? Sunny side, Friday and Saturday night afternoon. That didn't come out right, did it? I didn't know this was supposed to be a humorous session, but it's turned into that. Mike Gansey. Now I'm a little flustered. Mike led WVU to the 2005 NCAA Elite 8 and the 2006 NCAA Sweet 16. He was the first team All-Big East selection as a senior. Mike Gansey. You know, I mentioned last year when we inducted teammate Kevin Pittsnoggle that I had the opportunity to be in Cleveland in 2005 in the NCAA tournament when both Kevin and Mike had the opportunity to play the number 2 seed, Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Mountaineers defeated those Demon Deacons, and that would forever seal the greatness with Mike and the Mountaineer Nation and his induction to the WVU Hall of Fame. So welcome, Mike. Tom Kane. Tom was a key contributor on the 1946 and 47 Mountaineer football teams. He played 9 seasons in the NFL and won 2 Super Bowls as an assistant coach with the Miami Dolphins, including the famed undefeated season of 1972. He is represented by his son, Tim. Larry Krutko. Larry lettered from 1955 to 57 and is considered one of the best fullbacks in Mountaineer history. He led WVU in rushing in both 1956 and 57 while also playing linebacker. Larry, welcome. Eleanor Lamb. Eleanor spent 55 years as an administrator in WVU Department of Intercollegiate Athletics. That's not a misprint, that's 55 years. The former assistant athletic director was the first woman to hold a senior administrative role in the Department of Intercollegiate Athletics. Welcome, Eleanor. Steve Slayton. Steve was MVP of the Sugar Bowl and earned consistent All-American honors in 2006. He's still WVU's single-season rushing leader with 1,744 yards. And he accounted for 55 career touchdowns. Steve Slayton. Represented by his brother today, Coley, Pat White. Pat became the first college quarterback to start and win 4 consecutive bowl games. He finished his career as the all-time rushing quarterback in NCAA history. The former Big East Offensive Player of the Year set 19 WVU Big East and national records. White is coaching today at Alcorn State, and as I mentioned, is represented by his brother, Coley. Welcome. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Webb Wright. Webb was a seven-time All-American and two-time individual national champion in rifle. He led the Mountaineers to 3 national championships and represented the United States in the 1988 Olympics in Seoul. Webb Wright. As you can see in the upcoming videos, you'll hear more about these individuals and their accomplishments. But as I mentioned, these 11 individuals are so deserving of this honor. So let's give them one big round of applause. Before we get to the ceremony, I want to give special thanks to all those members of the selection committee who shared their time, their efforts, and made the celebration a reality today. We know that your time is valuable, and we appreciate your service to the WVU Hall of Fame. Will those selection committee members please stand to be recognized? Thank you. One other special group, if you would please stand and be recognized. All the former members of the WVU Sports Hall of Fame, would you please stand and be recognized? In closing, congratulations to these honorees and their families, and I pass along my gratitude and pride you've brought to Mountaineers everywhere. We're excited to have you back on campus for this special occasion and back to this great university. We salute your accomplishments today and rightfully take your place in WVU Hall of Fame. Thank you for coming today, and let's go Mountaineers.
Thank you, Shane. Let's get it started. We begin from the sport of men's soccer with goalkeeper John Capon. Please direct your attention to the video board.
A dominating goalkeeping force between the posts, John Capon was a 4-year letter winner and 3-time team captain for men's soccer from 1978 to 1981. A native of Rockville, Maryland, Capon was a 4-year starter for the Mountaineers, leaving WVU holding nearly every goalkeeping record at the school. As a senior, Capon allowed just 17 goals in 16 games with 6 shutouts during an 11-5 season and NCAA quarterfinal appearance for the Mountaineers. Earning NSCAA First-Team All-America honors in 1981, Capon posted a 1.13 GAA with 1,350 minutes in net. For his career, he appeared in 62 matches, started all of them, and played over 5,400 minutes. Capon ranks 4th all-time in career GAA, 2nd in career save percentage, and 2nd in career victories. Capon earned All-South First-Team honors in 1980 and 1981, and was a finalist for the Herman Trophy in his senior year. Capon earned a bachelor's degree in business management from West Virginia. Please join us for a round of applause for 2018 inductee, John Capon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer John Capon.
I love it. Capon, Capon, Al Capone. I've been introduced as everything before. But I do thank you, Shane and Tony, for such a warm introduction. And it brings back great memories to look at a few of those videos. And I really forgot about the burlap uniforms we had to wear and the 1/4 inch, thick AstroTurf field we played on at Old Mountaineer Field. So those were great memories. But the truth be known, all of us up here, we remember our teammates. We remember what we did. And it stays at that level. And that's really the humbleness that you get at a day like today. But I want to tell you a little bit about me. I was born in New York. I didn't grow up with a father in the house. We didn't have a mentor. I had 3 siblings. Our mother was ill. She passed away when we were young. But my siblings and myself, we had each other. And what we did was we played games and we played sports, and all of us were very athletic. And we enjoyed it every minute of every day doing that. They went on to better things. I stayed in sports. I loved it. It was my escape. It was my passion. So balls and objects in the air, to me, move in slow motion. And it didn't matter whether it was baseball or football or basketball or goalkeeping in soccer, I could see things before they were going to happen. And that really was my skill. I wasn't tall, I wasn't super fast. I didn't have those natural skills other than good hand-eye coordination. And I was able to use that to earn the statistics that you heard earlier. And they're just statistics. But I don't really believe that's why I'm here. I don't believe that's why the selection committee really thought I was worthy of this. I think it's the intangibles, okay, that one brings to a team or one brings to the field and to the players, okay, that separates them and makes great players memorable. And I think those intangibles are lifelong lessons. I think it's about leadership. I was very fortunate because I had the opportunity to do that. And I want to thank 3 people today specifically. The first is West Virginia University. I was a 17-year-old scrawny kid from Rockville, Maryland, and they came and they wanted me. They wanted to pay for my education, and they said, "We've got a place for you." And I'll forever be thankful for that, and I'll always have Mountaineer pride. I also had mentors. How do you acquire intangible skills? You have to have mentors. You have to have people that teach you. And I didn't have that when I was young. But I did have that after my mother passed away when I was young. Because I moved to Maryland and I lived with my mother's brother, who adopted all 4 capons and brought them to his house and raised us with his 3 children. And he taught me about just doing the right thing, integrity, honesty, ethics. Those are intangibles that are very valuable on a team. In addition to that, I had a very close friend who's passed away since that I played with. His name was Henry Long. Henry Long was from Dundalk, Maryland. He thought it was the greatest place on earth. I've been there. It's definitely not. Okay? But Henry believed in what he believed. And he taught our team, and he taught me, okay, about fortitude. And he taught me about humility, loyalty, things that weren't clear to me at that time. I'll always be grateful for having, that lift in life, to have the opportunity that West Virginia gave me, to have the mentors like my uncle and my friend Henry. So I'm very fortunate to have had opportunities and mentor, and I think that's what allowed me to become a leader that let West Virginia, me captain the team. And I think that's why I'm here. I want to close with just a few acknowledgments and thanks. First to my 4 children. I respect you. I marvel at what you've done. I think you're absolutely amazing, beautiful people, and I love you, and thank you for all being here. I want to thank my wife of 35 years. We've been married 41 years, and you have no idea. I've had 28 surgeries, 3 joint replacements, and she's nursed me through all of them. We've been to West Virginia, Virginia Tech games. She's a Hokie, and she wears my colors. Okay, so that's amazing. She's the greatest person I know, and I'll love her forever. My soccer teammates, I mentioned earlier, we know what we went through. And those that were with me for 4 years, we went from a 2-win team to 7th in the nation. We did a lot, we accomplished a lot. And Mark and Jimmy Mathutis came from Colorado and Chicago to be here, and I thank them for that. My large family and my friends, you surround me every day. It gives me something to do. In this text messaging world, I can just connect with anybody at any time, and I've got so many hundreds of people, over 50 of you are here today, and I thank you. You make my world complete. The Hall of Fame Selection Committee, obviously you thought of me highly enough to have me up here, and I thank you very much for that. Other members of the induction class, just proud to be here with you, and also the 188 members before us. So I feel great to be included. And I bow to everybody's worthiness, of all of your worthiness, and I'm proud to be together in the hall. Thank you. John.
Thank you so much, John, and congratulations. Our next inductee comes from the sport of gymnastics. As Shane mentioned, she not only was a standout competitor, but has become one of the nation's best coaches. Would you please take a look at the video boards as we welcome in Bev Fry-Plotke.
One of the nation's top gymnastics coaches, Bev Fry-Plotke, competed in gymnastics at West Virginia from 1985 to 1987, leading the Mountaineers to 3 appearances in the NCAA Regional Championships and a 23-win season in 1985. A native of Butler, Pennsylvania, Plotke was a gymnast at Alabama before transferring to West Virginia and competing for fellow WVU Sports Hall of Fame member Linda Burdett Good. The 1987 team captain, Plotke earned a spot on the 1987 All-Atlantic 10 Bars team and won the 1986 Sally Medrick Award as the team's most improved gymnast. Plotke recently wrapped up her 29th season as head coach of the Michigan women's gymnastics program. She has led the Wolverines to 23 Big Ten championships, tied for the most by any coach in Big Ten history. Plotke has led the Wolverines to 4 Big Ten regular season titles, 23 NCAA championship appearances, and 10 NCAA Super 6 berths. Plotke is an 11-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, 9-time NCAA Regional Coach of the Year, and was the 1994 NCAA National Coach of the Year. Plotke earned a bachelor's degree from West Virginia in physical education in 1987 and a master's degree in sports management and administration in 1989, also from WVU. Please join us for a round of applause for 2018 inductee, Bev Plotke.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bev Fry-Plotke.
Gymnasts are a little bit shorter. Before I start, can I have a round of applause for 1980s hair? You know, those old pictures and videos bring back so many incredible memories of my time here on this campus in Morgantown. And I would like to first congratulate all of the other members of this class that are being inducted with me. I am so incredibly humbled and honored to be inducted into this class of unbelievable West Virginia Mountaineer alumni. I want to thank Shane Lyons, who apparently I had even more of a relationship than I remember. I did tell my family that we went to school together, but the rest is news to all of us. And to the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, again, thank you so much for considering me and awarding me this honor. I was told that we had about 2 minutes to be able to speak, and I'm going to try to stay as close to that as I can. There are so many thank yous that I would like to make, so I'm going to begin through the list. First, I want to thank my parents who are here today all the way from Florida, who committed an unbelievable amount of hours to my training as a young gymnast from the time I could barely walk. From the time I was 11 years old, transporting me an hour and a half to my gymnastics in Washington, PA from Butler, sitting for 6 hours and driving an hour and a half back home. I want to thank my sisters who are also here who had to deal with the fact that one or the other of our parents was always with me, whether it was at practice or on the road for competitions. I've had such unbelievable support from my family, and I can't thank all of you enough. My husband and my son, who unfortunately were not able to be here today, they're on the field for the Michigan-Nebraska football game today. My husband is on the coaching staff, and my son is on the field as a sophomore player. Also, my daughter, Elizabeth, who is here with me today, she is the #1 Team Plocky fan in our household, and I needed to make sure I got to say that for her benefit. All of my coaches that helped develop me through all of my years of gymnastics turned me into not only the gymnast that I was, but also the coach that I am. And I'm going to come back to one in particular in a moment, but I wanted to thank Bo Schembeckler, Jack Weidenbach, the rest of the administration who took a chance on a then at the time 23-year-old graduate assistant from West Virginia University when they named me the head coach at the University of Michigan for their program. Now I will begin my 30th year there, and I want to thank the teams, all the athletes, and everybody who grew with me and helped me become the coach that I am today. I have enjoyed my journey so much, but I never forget that it all started here. And the one person that I really want to thank that gets me choked up when I think about it is Linda Burdett Good. As you saw in the video, I started out my collegiate career at the University of Alabama, and I was fairly successful there. I was an All-American as a freshman, but I soon discovered that I was not much of a Southern belle. And I ended up leaving at Christmas time my sophomore year. I didn't really know what I was going to do. I actually lived with my sister Brenda and her family in Fort Lauderdale, got a job working at American Express in the customer service department for a few months until Linda Burdett picked up the phone and called my mother and said, hey, I heard, X, Y, and Z. My mother said, yes, that's true. Linda called me, gave me an opportunity to come, kind of get my life back on track here in Morgantown. She was not only a coach, she was a mentor, she's been my role model, and she's been an incredible friend. Without her, I don't know where I would be today, but I can honestly say that everything that I've been able to do in my coaching career thus far has been as a result of what you did for me, picking me up from the trenches and giving me a second chance. My years in Morgantown were some of the very best of my life. I am so appreciative of this award and the ability to be in the Hall of Honor with so many other elite mountaineers. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and let's go Mountaineers.
Our next inductee comes from the storied WVU rifle program. Please direct your attention to the video monitor as we induct Webb Wright.
One of the best marksmen in WVU rifle history, Lieutenant Colonel Webb Wright was a 7-time All-American and 2-time national champion at West Virginia from 1985 to 1989. Wright led the Mountaineers to 3 national titles in 1986, 1988, and 1989. He was the only 2-time NCAA small bore national champion in WVU history until 2018. He was a 4-time first-team All-American in small bore during his career and a first-team air rifle All-American during his senior season. He was named a second-team All-American in air rifle in 1986 and 87. He was a 2-time team MVP and team captain of the 1988-89 team. Wright represented the United States at the 1988 Olympics in Seoul, South Korea. He earned a gold medal in the 1986 Zurich World Cup and was a bronze medalist in the 1987 Seoul World Cup, where he set the world record in small bore kneeling, scoring a 399 out of 400. Since 2012, Wright has played an integral role with the Army West Point rifle team. At Army, he began as the team's officer representative before being named the 25th head coach of the program in 2015. Throughout his time with the Black Knights, Army has made 4 NCAA appearances, with 4 marksmen going on to earn All-America honors. Growing up, Wright was always around the sport. His father, who began teaching him to shoot at age 8, was the head rifle coach at Navy in the 1970s and 80s. He credits his success to his parents' unfaltering support and love. Please join us for a round of applause for 2018 inductee, Webb Wright.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome WVU Hall of Famer Webb Wright. Congratulations.
All right, thank you, Tony. Shane, members of the selection committee, Kathy Martin and the staff that kept us informed about all this, just thank you very much. I really appreciate all the work. This is such an honor, and I'm humbled to be among many talented and notable athletes up here. Congratulations to everybody. I'm really proud to be amongst you. I mean, we're 5,000 yards in a season. That's quite an accomplishment. All right, rifle is a very small sport, not very well known, but here at WVU it is. We kind of, we've gained kind of celebrity status, and we're treated pretty well. I've always appreciated the respect that the school and community have shown for the WVU rifle team, and I want to say thank you to everybody that's out there supporting the team. It's been about 30 years since I last shot for WVU, but the friendships and the memories have endured. Shooting is such a close-knit community that I cross paths with many of my teammates frequently. Guys like Mike Ante and Dave Johnson, they're both upperclassmen when I was on the team. Incidentally, they're the coaches of Air Force and Navy, so there's a little bit of a rivalry going on there. But we always share the common bond of being on this team and being tremendously successful at what we did. NCAA champions, Olympians, and now NCAA Division I coaches. This speaks wonders for the environment that we trained and competed in, and says so much for the coaching and support staff we had. Huge thanks to Dr. Ed Edsel, out there in the back, I think, for giving me the opportunity way back when. Ed, I enjoyed your encouragement, your coaching style, and your uncanny ability to sense the atmosphere on the team and bring us back to where we needed to be. I saw George Moses back there too, I think. Just thanks to him. Lots of sessions on the couch, trying to get the mind right. This is such a mentally intense sport, and I think what he did for us was just, we couldn't have done it without him. And big thanks to Terry Howes, the grad assistant for the team back then, and now Senior Associate Athletic Director. This particular thanks is for putting up with the obnoxious 18 to 22-year-old me. I'm not sure really how you gathered the strength to tolerate the shenanigans, but we managed to live through it nonetheless. Thank you to my teammates from back then who took the time to be here. Saw Mike Ante last night, a couple of the alumni. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support and the understanding, and for holding each other accountable to such huge standards. When you think about this, to us, being NCAA champions was the expectation. It wasn't the goal or the dream. Anything less than victory to us was inconceivable. We were perennially saw ourselves as the best team in the NCAA, and that was the standard we set. And thanks in part to John Hammond, we have the rings to prove for it. Inside joke there. To the current team, I'm so pleased with the legacy that you have maintained. Keep it up. Be the team you want to be. Stay focused and keep winning with style and integrity. To my mom and dad, thank you for all the support, love, and understanding since day one, through now, and well into the future. Some of you might know, I was sort of born into this whole thing of rifle shooting. Our family vacations were to fun in exotic places like Camp Perry, Ohio, Black Canyon, Arizona. And thank you to my mom for tolerating all that. It took a special kind of love and bravery to spend the summer in a 12 by 12 foot Army hut on Lake Erie. Thank you to my dad for getting me into the sport and providing the opportunity to experience everything I have been so fortunate to experience. I don't ever remember not being around competitive shooting, loading up the van, driving to practice and matches, the time on the firing line, being coached and competing. A little fun fact, we actually set a national record together that still stands after close to 35 years. So national championships, Olympics, World Cups, medals, on and on. Whatever success I have had in shooting and in the military, and as a coach now, I owe to you. During my time here, the other thing that competed for my time was being an ROTC cadet. Shooting brought me here, and then it brought me into the Army. After a little time on the U.S. Army team, I ventured out into the real Army and served about 25 years, sometimes in lovely faraway places with lots of sand and unfriendly people. I packed up all my competitive shooting equipment and turned that page in my life, I thought. Never thought I'd get back involved. My last job in the Army was at West Point, where I figured I would retire and find a job someplace. But then as things evolved, the coaching job opened, I interviewed, and I was blessed to get the job. It is quite frankly the best job in the world for me. I love coaching. I love helping the young future leaders of the U.S. Army and the nation, help them grow and learn to become better leaders. I can't think of a better way to apply my knowledge of the sport and my Army experience. So the last thank you goes to my wife and family for supporting me in those endeavors. So with that, I'll step away from the podium. I'm honored and gracious. Let's go whoop up on Kansas State. Thank you. Let's go Mountaineers.
Our next inductee comes from the sport of football, a fullback, which brings a smile to Coach Nealon's face. He loves those guys that used to stick it up in there. Please direct your attention to the video board to take a look at Larry Krutko.
One of the best fullbacks in Mountaineer football history, Larry Krutko played at WVU from 1955 to 57 for Coach Art Pappy Lewis. The Carmichaels, Pennsylvania native finished his 3-year career with 297 carries for over 1,400 yards, leading WVU in rushing yards in 1956 and 57, while also playing linebacker on defense. Krutko currently ranks 6th in career rushing yards for a WVU fullback. Krutko, who played in the Blue-Gray Collegiate Bowl game in 1957 and the Senior Bowl and College All-Star game in 1958, helped lead the Mountaineers to 2 Southern Conference championships. He was a member of the WVU all-time team from 1950 to 59. As a senior in 1957, Krutko helped the Mountaineers to a 7-2-1 record while leading the Mountaineers' rushing attack with over 400 yards on 100 carries with a team-high 5 touchdowns. Krutko earned all Southern Conference first-team honors in 1956. Krutko was chosen in the 2nd round of the 1957 NFL Draft by the Steelers. He played with them from 1958 to 60, appearing in 25 career games. Krutko now makes his home in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania with his wife Betty. They own and operate a long-time wholesale grocery business with their children in Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. Please join us in a round of applause for 2018 inductee Larry Krutko.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Larry Krutko. Congratulations to you.
I had somewhat of an outline what I was going to try to say, but Mr. Capone stole some of that away from me, and the other was so good about how they had formulated theirs, I had no idea where to go. Then they mentioned Don Nealon, which I watched his team play for a number of years there, and I said, well, there's somebody who understands somebody in trouble. I look at this facility here, and this absolutely amazes me. I come from an area and a team. We used to have a practice field by the old Coliseum there where they used to bus us up from the old Mountaineer field, practice, and then the buses back down there for showers and so forth there. And then I think back also some of the humbleness of the Mountaineer program came from. For instance, as I read in one of the publications that in 1891, the first football game that they played with W&J, they lost it 72-0. So I feel quite fortunate to be here, obviously, with the rest of my nominees for this prestigious award here. I think about my dad. Came to this country in about 21, which is 30 years after the first football game. And that makes me the firstborn of an immigrant into this country. I'm quite proud of that I've succeeded to come to this point of recognition through the accomplishments. You know, there's an author that comes to my mind for some other reason, Alex Haley. He says, you see something on top of a fence post out in the field. He says, you know, it got help to get there. And I certainly was one of those guys that had a lot of help. Started in high school with, I run around with a bunch of guys who grew up that's all they had to do was to play sports. Nobody had any money, nobody had any cars or video games or anything of that nature. And it was organized, we organized ourselves to play the next community and so forth to have something to do. And we played whatever was in season, from football to basketball to baseball. And those are the three major ones there. And I got good enough to be recognized as a possible candidate for a scholarship to the university. But my senior year as a freshman in high school, I was ineligible. My birthday was on the 27th of June, and August the 8th was the cutoff date. Yeah, the 18 years old couldn't play in the WPIAL in Western Pennsylvania. So Pappy Lewis, which was notorious as a recruiter and as a coach in this area at that time, conceived of a plan for me to gain a 1 credit I need to be eligible for the university in the fall from University High. I had to go to summer school and get that. And that I did, and that was primarily why I became a Mountaineer. It was a quick step into the university, to higher education, and I had no aspirations whatsoever of going anyplace else other than staying academically eligible and playing all the football I could possibly play. We played both ways. I with Steve Slayton and Avon and those guys. Those guys were racehorses. I mean, when I think about it, my day, we did it all. We played offense, defense, special teams, and even watered ourselves at things like that. That they thought that I'd take anything away. You guys are terrific. I enjoyed watching, especially Tavon Austin and all them guys. My wife and I, the family, were members, season ticket members for a number of years here. In fact, it's only at the university, obviously, I met her. I met her, and she had to take a course. This should be funny, but it's not. She had to take a course to be eligible to teach. And it was the only time it was offered. Back in those days, it wasn't co-ed. The men had their courses, and the ladies had their courses, and they were completely separate. But this one course was only offered this one time, and she needed this to graduate and be certified as a teacher. This is before I knew her. Her advisor figured out some way to get her eligible for that, and she got into that program, and that's where I met her. And we were playing a game. It was a game, too. But Bolden Center, we had, of course, that was PE 66. It was a teaching program to help to be recreational directors and so forth, and in schools, and teacher of games and situations. Anyway, the object was to get in the middle of the circle and break out. Well, not everybody else held hands. Everybody in that circle was ex-ball players. Not ex-ball players, they were ball players, except my wife. Today. So I, naturally, being a seasoned runner, not to the extent somebody else there at this table, But I chose her and went through her and put her on her butt. And an instructor named Bill Bonsall was there, and he was irate. He just thought I did something very terrible. And being from a football program, they thought that was a pretty good thing to knock people on their butts, you know. And I was kind of confused, and he suggested to me that I get in touch with her and take her out and apologize to her. That I did. She had her car. I didn't have no car. I think I had 50 cents in my pocket, and I said, well, let's go get a Coke or something. And she said, yeah, we did. But we went on from there. And I remember one time she was walking across with the old Armory football field, and I hollered at her, and she twirled around and came back, and my God, that girl really got moves. And that's the same Armory field where the old WVU football program used to play their games. Aaron Rodgers and that group is in there. And it's amazing that I had classes with Aaron Rodgers. First All-American at WVU, and I didn't feel it at that time. I thought it was quite an accomplishment on his part, and it was certainly nice on my part to be in any one of these classes. But even when I look back today from the types of accomplishments that he had, and I've read in some of the books about him, he was quite an athlete. I'm certainly glad to be in the same group of considered West Virginia Mountaineers as he is. My high honors today is my family, which are here today, and many of my friends, both of them. We come from a family. My wife told me the other day, I was watching the Pirates play. I was sitting in my lawn chair, and she's in my easy chair, and she's sitting in her couch chair, and she said, "Boy, I'm glad I married you." And I says, "Why?" She said, "We like to watch the same thing together." She says, "That's really a treat there. That's good." But out of that union, we have 7 wonderful grandchildren, and all of them I couldn't be prouder of any one of them over another one. I have a grandson that played in quarterback at a team that won the Ohio State Championship in high school, went on to play at Notre Dame for 4 years, and with that I'm quietly honored and praised. I know when I used to go to Notre Dame, watch them play a few times, that they get that Notre Dame spirit, and boy, they do have a good spirit camaraderie around there. The friendship and everything about it is very updated. But I think it was mentioned here by somebody, once a Mountaineer, always a Mountaineer. Thank you.
We'll step over here and get a picture, man. I got you. You're not going anywhere. No, let's turn that thing around.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next inductee, please direct your attention to the board, Ms. Eleanor Lamb.
Eleanor Lamb, a lifelong resident of Morgantown, spent 55 years working in the WVU Department of Intercollegiate Athletics from 1958 to 2013. Lamb joined the WVU staff on June 9, 1958, as a secretary to then Athletic Director Red Brown. She was named as an assistant to Brown in 1965 and was elevated to Assistant Athletic Director on July 1, 1971, where she was involved with the financial details and arrangements of all athletic events. Lamb was the first female to hold a senior administrative role in the department's history. Lamb, who also worked with WVU athletic directors Leland Bird, Dick Martin, Fred Schaus, Ed Pastalong, and Oliver Luck, retired from full-time status on July 1, 1984. She then went on to work in the department on a part-time basis as an administrative assistant in the business office. Lamb retired from the department on March 31, 2013. Prior to working at WVU, she worked for WAJR Radio in Morgantown and for WPDX in Clarksburg as Director of Continuity. Lamb is a 1943 graduate of WVU with a bachelor's degree in journalism. She has one son and one grandson. Please join us in a round of applause for 2018 inductee, Eleanor Lamb.
Congratulations, Eleanor. She is here with us, front row this afternoon. And you heard a little bit of the background. You know a lot about WVU on the front side as Mountaineer fans. You know about the teams, you know about the players. West Virginia University is where it is today as an athletic department because of people like Eleanor Lamb. What you might not know is that West Virginia University over the years has been run, when it comes to finances, extremely frugal. And the capital of frugal is Eleanor Lamb. Here's what a few of the folks that had the opportunity to work with Eleanor through the years had to say. She followed the business and financial affairs of the state and the university to an absolute T. If you made a mistake, people would be scared to go see her. But she knew when to console and when to scold. She was an incredible teacher to the many young people, young staff members that came through the university, and she told them and taught them the right way and the wrong way when it comes to university finances. As you know, athletic directors can be interesting people, and as you just heard there, she had the opportunity to work with 6 athletic directors. She was instrumental in conducting the financing options and the development of the WVU Coliseum, and was also involved when the football stadium across the way was also constructed. They said this as well: with Eleanor, you better have the proper receipts when you went to see her, because if you didn't, you never came back until you did. And I think if all of our state agencies ran with that same level, we would all be a lot better off today. And finally, a very special thank you to Kathy Martin from Eleanor. Kathy has been a long-standing friend, and the two worked together for many years within the athletic department, and Kathy, to this day, still checks on Eleanor each and every day. Eleanor, welcome to the WVU Sports Hall of Fame. Our next inductee comes from the sport of football as well. He will be enshrined posthumously. He is Tom Kane. Please take a look at the video board.
Tom Kane was a rare letterman in football at West Virginia and Ohio State during the 1940s. After an all-star high school career at Lindsley Academy in Wheeling, the Bel Air, Ohio native enrolled at Ohio State with a two-way back lettered as a freshman in 1944 on Ohio State's undefeated co-national championship team before serving 20 months in the United States Navy. Upon discharge, he enrolled at WVU and was a key contributor on the 1946 and 1947 teams. Kane was a second-round pick and 18th overall on the National Football League's Los Angeles Rams in 1948. He played 9 NFL seasons as a defensive back, offensive end, including the first 4 seasons with the Rams. In 1952, he played with the Dallas Texans before 2 seasons with the Baltimore Colts, and ended his playing career in 1955 with the Chicago Cardinals. Kane coached with the Chicago Cardinals from 1957 to 59 before returning to his native Ohio Valley, where he became the first head coach of the Wheeling Ironmen professional football team for 3 seasons. Kane was a longtime assistant coach in the NFL, coaching in 5 Super Bowls with the Miami Dolphins. He returned to the NFL as an aide for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1965, before joining the original staff of the Dolphins in 1966, where he remained until retiring in 1985 to cap a 38-year pro career as a player and coach. Please join us for a round of applause for 2018 inductee Tom Kane.
Please welcome Tom's son, Tim Kane. Congratulations, Kane.
Thanks, Shane. Wow. Before I came here last week, originally my brother was going to speak, and then he couldn't make it, so they asked me to. All right, I'll say a few words. I read up on all the inductees. I'm like, wow. And then after hearing him speak, I'm like, oh no. But anyways, he covered so much of what I was going to say. However, when I was trying to think what to say, I said, what would my dad say? So he would say, first of all, thank you to WVU, the athletic department, the Hall of Fame committee, and the community. He loved it. He really did. He used to tell me some stories, and I'll get to one in a minute. But after he finished WVU, he went into the NFL, propelled him to the NFL, prepared him for the NFL. And obviously, 8 years of playing, and then 20 years, over 25 years coaching, 20 with the Dolphins. It was a great childhood. And then he retired, and he passed away 17 years ago, and we miss him, love him. He's still with us. But there was one story, and I'll be brief, that I wanted to share. It was November 29th, 1947. It was the backyard brawl, West Virginia Pitt. And he told me this when I was a little kid, and he repeated it a couple times. It stuck with me, and he passed it on to me, and I'll pass it on to my kids and to hopefully future generations. Pitt had won 15 in a row up till 1947. So Dad had this plaque at home. It said, it was a good outcome that day. West Virginia 17, Pitt 2. Tom Kane had a hand in every point. He played quarterback, punter, held on extra points, and I'll get to how he got his hand on every point. They had the game well in hand. The game's at Pitt. There's seconds left in the game. And the coaches told Dad, he was in punt formation, he was the punter, in the end zone to take a safety. So to run the clock out, to get out of there. And he was at the end zone where the West Virginia fans were sitting. He took the safety, and then he said it scared the crap out of him. People rushed the field. When he saw it was blue and gold, he was happy. He said he didn't step foot until he got to the locker room. He's carried in there. And as he was being carried, he felt people tugging on his pants, on his trousers. When he got into the locker room, there were sandwiches, beer, and probably a couple dollars stuffed in there. So, being naive like I was, I said, Dad, you know that's a NCAA violation. Did you report that? He goes, did I raise a dumbass? But thank you very much on behalf of the Keene family. It's a great honor. Thank you. That's
a great story. You want to go take your step? Oh, no. Our next inductee from the sport of women's basketball. Take a look at the monitor as we welcome in Kate Bulger.
A 4-year letter winner from 2001 to 2004 and senior captain, Kate Bulger became the first Mountaineer drafted by the WNBA as the number 38 pick of the Minnesota Lynx in the 2004 draft. Bulger, a Pittsburgh native, was a 4-time honoree in the Big East, named to the All-Big East second team her senior season, the third team her junior season, the second team as a sophomore, and the Big East All-Rookie team as a freshman. Starting every game of her career and never missing a game, Bulger led the Mountaineers in scoring in each of her 4 seasons. Known as one of WVU's top all-time shooters, Bulger continues to hold WVU's record for three-point field goals made and three-point field goal attempts, and ranks second for three-point field goal percentage. In addition to her offense, Bulger also ranks number 10 in WVU's record books with 94 career block shots. With 115 career games played and started, Bulger ranks number 3 in WVU's career record books with over 4,000 minutes played. She led WVU in scoring 14 times, including 9 20-point outings. Bulger led WVU to its first NCAA tournament appearance since 1992. Kate joins her brother Mark as the first siblings to be inducted into the WVU Sports Hall of Fame. Bulger graduated from WVU with a bachelor's degree in communications. She received a master's degree in education from Duquesne and a second master's degree in educational leadership from Northern Arizona. Bulger currently lives in Chandler, Arizona, where she's in her 4th year as principal of a kindergarten through 8th grade school. Please join us for a round of applause for 2018 inductee, Kate Bulger.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kate Bulger.
I'm just going to put it out there that I'm insanely nervous. This is my sister's thing to talk in front of people, so I'll talk too fast and keep going. But this is such a special day, and I feel so honored to be here with my fellow inductees, and congratulations to each and every one of you, and I'm a huge fan. Thank you to West Virginia Athletic Department and the selection committee as a whole, not only for this honor, but for the amazing job that you do day in and day out for this university. A special thanks to Mr. Pastalong, Terry Howes, and Mr. Shane Lyons for keeping West Virginia as a top program in the country and all the support that you give. I couldn't go much longer without thanking my head coach, Coach Carey. My goal in committing to West Virginia was to help build a winning program, and when he came in my sophomore season, we did just that. The coaching part on the court goes without saying, but it's the off-the-court relationship that he showed to my teammates and myself that are the most important in these crucial 4 years of our life. I am forever thankful to him for the best 4 years. Also, a big thank you to Coach Nichols, our assistant coach, who was a huge mentor to my sister and I, and to this day remembers the little things about our life and reaches out and checks in. Another thank you to Mr. Creedy, Travis Jones, Dale Sparks, Bob Herzl, Todd Murray, Phil Caskey for all the support, love, and interest that you showed for women's basketball during my time here. Women's basketball doesn't always get the most attention, but they were always positive vibes and support around our program, starting from our freshman season when we went 5-22 or something to, building what we have all the way to this point today. So we really appreciate all the support that the media of West Virginia gives us. To all of my teammates who I played with over the years, there's 2 here today, Jess and Grace, Jess Fisher, Grace Carson, who I can't thank enough for being here, taking the time to come celebrate with me. And all the rest that I played with, they're the reasons for any stats that I have, which after watching this video, I didn't do much. It looks like I really just stood there and shoot and kind of reevaluating if I was actually that good or not. But they're the ones that I'm running off of. They're setting all the picks, they're doing all the dirty work, and all I had to do was shoot. So I appreciate, of course, all my teammates. When you think of West Virginia, you think of the family atmosphere, the loyalty, and the values. I can't thank enough the former staff and the current staff, how they still welcome my family here every year. Everyone from Miss Shirley in the basketball office to Coach Huggins, on the men's basketball staff, getting texts from people I wasn't even here with, just saying congratulations. It's truly that family atmosphere. But a really special thank you to probably the reason why my brother definitely chose to go here, and my sister and I, who made my parents feel comfortable, is Coach Nealon. He was the first person we met for the West Virginia family. I remember being upstairs listening, 11, 12 years old, to what he was saying to my brother and to try to get him to come here. And he's the reason that, like I said, made my parents so comfortable, because he's so honest and loyal, and that's just like all the people of the state of West Virginia. almost done. Going along with that family deal, of course, I would like to thank my own family. It's pretty special that I honestly cannot remember looking up in the stands one time without seeing my mom or dad, usually both in the stands, along with a brother, sister, at every single game. So it was pretty amazing to have, I have 4 siblings, all in the sports world, up in Pittsburgh. They never missed a game, so to have them here at every single one of my games, and my sister as well, and brothers, is truly special, and I thank them for that. Probably one of the best experiences, if not the best of my life, was playing at this level with my sister. I was a senior, she was a freshman. I can truly tell that the reason she played was for me, the reason she played hard was for me. She wanted to win for me, and I can honestly say is probably the most proud and excited person for me today is my sister. So, thank you, Meg. A side note to that, I do love her, but I'm expecting my first child in November, and so I'm assuming motherhood is a lot of worry, and so I thank Meg for that, because being a senior and her being a freshman, exploring WVU was, I think it prepared me, I'm hoping, for motherhood with all the worry and staying up at night and making sure she's making it home on a Thursday, and we got practice in the morning, and making her times around the track and all that kind of stuff. So another shout out to Meg for helping me with that. Coach Carey always joked that he never had to say a word to Meg because I went hard enough on her, so he knew by the time she got to him, it was handled and settled. Lastly, just to the people of West Virginia, you are the reason this state and university are so special. The love you show my entire family is incredible, and I hope you know that we share that right back with you, and congratulations to everybody.
Congratulations, Kate. Our next inductee from the sport of football, quarterback, Pat White.
Pat White was the nation's most versatile threat at quarterback, becoming the first college quarterback to start and win 4 consecutive bowl games from 2005 to 2008. The Daphne, Alabama native set 19 WVU, Big East, and national records during his illustrious career, including finishing as the all-time rushing quarterback in NCAA history with 4,480 yards, which now ranks second. West Virginia was 35-8 with White as the starting quarterback. He led the Mountaineers to bowl wins in the 2006 Sugar, 2007 Gator, 2008 Fiesta, and 2008 Meineke Car Care. White set the Big East records in touchdowns responsible, total offense, and became the first player in Big East history to pass for more than 10,000 yards. He posted a 7-2 record against top 25 opponents during his career. In White's final season, he eclipsed the 4,000-yard rushing, 6,000-yard passing, 10,000-yard total offense, and 4,000-yard all-purpose yardage marks. He finished his career 4th on the school's all-time all-purpose yardage list with 4,480 yards. White was drafted in the 2nd round of the NFL Draft by the Miami Dolphins. Also a standout on the diamond, White was selected by the Anaheim Angels in the 4th round of the 2004 Major League Baseball Draft, but opted to attend WVU. He signed a minor league contract with the Kansas City Royals in 2010 and with the Miami Marlins in 2013. White graduated from WVU in 2008 with a Regents Bachelor of Arts degree. In April 2018, White was hired as the quarterbacks coach at Alcorn State, working for offensive coordinator Ryan Stanchek, a teammate at WVU. Pat has 2 daughters. Please join us for a round of applause for 2018 inductee, Pat White.
As you heard, Pat is now in his first season as the quarterback's coach at Elkhorn State. Accepting on his behalf this afternoon, please welcome Coley White.
On behalf of Pat, he's honored to be a part of this class of 2018 Hall of Fame. Being a little brother, he's always done and is still doing for me. So when he asked me to do this, I knew it meant the world to him. To the state of West Virginia, he loves y'all. To his coaches, to administration, to the committee, he's honored to be a part of this Hall of Fame. To his longtime friend, teammate, Steve Slayton, he's honored to be inducted with you. To the state of West Virginia, thank you from our family. Thank you for always loving us, supporting us, and making this our second home. Thank you so much. From Pat.
First of all, I want to apologize for not being able to make it. At the same time, I'm excited because I got a big game this weekend. But it's an honor for me to be inducted into the West Virginia Hall of Fame, along with all the other inductees today. Sorry I couldn't be there. I want to thank a few people, obviously my parents, the committee, Mountaineer Nations, tell my little brother and my baby girl, Daphne Ruth, I love you. Once a Mountaineer, always a Mountaineer. Let's go.
Next up, from the sport of men's basketball, we induct Mike Gansey.
Mike Gansey, who led WVU to the 2005 NCAA Elite Eight and the 2006 NCAA Sweet 16, is just one of 9 Mountaineer basketball players to start every game of his WVU career. Starting 68 games at WVU after transferring from St. Bonaventure, Gansey reached double figures in 25 games during the 2004-2005 season. He led the Mountaineers in field goals, rebounds, rebounding average, and steals. Gansey led WVU to the championship game of the Big East Tournament and then to the NCAA Elite Eight. It was WVU's highest finish in the NCAA tournament since 1959. In 2005-06, the Olmsted Falls, Ohio native led the Mountaineers in scoring, rebounding, steals, rebounds, field goal percentage, and three-point field goal percentage. Gansey made 75 three-point field goals, the 5th most in a season at WVU, and scored double figures in 30 games. He led the Mountaineers to the NCAA Sweet 16 in Atlanta. Gansey finished with 976 points in his 2 seasons at WVU, and counting his 2 years at St. Bonaventure, scored over 1,600 career points. He was a part of the 2005 USA World University Games team that won a gold medal in Turkey, averaging 6.4 points and 3.4 rebounds per game. Gansey graduated from WVU in 2006 with a bachelor's degree in criminology. He has served as the Assistant General Manager for the Cleveland Cavaliers since July 2017. Gansey resides in Avon, Ohio with his wife Amy and their 3 children. Please join us for a round of applause for 2018 inductee, Mike Gansey.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Gansey.
I'll try to be short and sweet. We're taking some valuable tailgating time by being here. First of all, I'd like to thank the committee and the voters that inducted me in this obviously wonderful group. For me to only play 2 years and be with such an elite class, I'm very, very humbled and honored and excited at the same time. I'd like to thank Shane, obviously, and the rest of the staff. Kathy helped putting this together with my family, and Tony, obviously. You guys, like Kate said, you guys make West Virginia what it is, and obviously it is the best program in the country for me. So, thank you again. kind of when I was at West Virginia, it felt like we had, the best times in sports. I mean, women's basketball, rifle, football, women's soccer, obviously the basketball team. So it was the elite of the elite during those times, and it was fun to kind of one up each other. It seemed like we'd go to the NCAA tournament, the women's team would go, and then the football team would win a big bowl game. So we were all kind of competing with each other during those times, and it was a lot of fun. And watching Steve, watching Kate, and during my time, it was really special to watch them. I'd really like to thank Coach Beeline. He took a chance on me. 6'4", skinny white kid coming from St. Bonaventure. Obviously, St. Bonaventure to West Virginia was a big level up, and he saw enough in me to bring me in to West Virginia. And obviously those 2 years are 2 years that I'll never forget. Going to NCAA tournament and obviously advancing far. I wouldn't be here without my teammates, my coaches, support staff, the administration. I mean, a lot are still here in West Virginia, and I keep in touch with them as well. The senior class, especially with J.D. Collins, Kevin Pittsnagel, Pat Beeline, and Johannes Herbear, I was kind of the outsider coming in, halfway through, and they embraced me. And obviously senior night was one of my favorite moments, being with them, being out there competing, and unfortunately knowing that it was my last time to play at the Coliseum. But it was a fun 2 years, and I really want to thank those guys, because they didn't have to let me come into their program and play with them and help them, and they did that, and I really thank them for that. I'm a big family guy. My beautiful wife Amy and my 3 kids are over there. Coach Carey, I don't know if Coach Carey's still here, but I got class of 2033 and 34, so if you're looking for a couple commitments today, just come see me. Big shout out to my parents, my mom, Gail, and my stepfather, Tony. They came to every single game of mine. It didn't matter. We were in New Mexico in the tournament, UCLA, every home game. Tony, obviously, with his business, he'd always schedule meetings and business trips kind of around our road programs, or our road schedule. So you two, I love you two so much. Thank you for all the support. My brother Steve is in the building. Obviously, that's my little brother. He used to beat up on me even when I was younger. He's the best shooter in the family, but I got some other things better than him. WVU is a very special place in my heart. I wish I could have played here 4 years. Fortunately, I got 2 years, but I wish I could go back every day and just have 1 day, 1 week, 1 game, 1 practice, 1 night out. It was just such a special place on and off the floor. Thanks, Justin. All my teammates, I can't thank you guys enough, staff, everyone that there's too many people to thank. And, what a ride it was. And, Hugs always says it's such an honor to wear the West Virginia jersey. What he's done now with this program, I felt like, Jerry West obviously put the program on the map back in the day, and then, Gail Catlett put it back, and then we kind of got it here forever. And, obviously Hugs always says to wear that W is an honor, and I just hope I did that to my best ability. And, this is a very, very special place, and, I can't thank you enough, Mountaineer Nation, because you guys are the best fans of the world. These are the best people, and, I really hope my kids can grow up and go to school here. So thank you so much, and let's go beat some K-State butt.
Next up, from the sport of football, please welcome Steve Slayton.
Steve Slayton was one of the top playmaking running backs in the nation from 2005 to 2007, earning consensus All-America honors in 2006. The Levittown, Pennsylvania native rewrote the WVU and Big East record books during his 3-year career as a Mountaineer. For his WVU career, he ranks first in rushing touchdowns, total touchdowns, and total points by a non-kicker, and ranks second in total 100-yard rushing games, all-purpose yards, all-time receiving yards by a running back, and second in Big East history in total touchdowns with 53. Slayton left WVU third all-time in rushing yards with over 3,900 for his career. He and Pat White became the third duo in FBS history to rush for 1,000 yards in consecutive seasons. In the WVU season record books, Slayton posted the most rushing yards in a season with over 1,700, most all-purpose yards in a season with over 2,100, tied for the most consecutive 100-yard rushing games with 6, and most rushing yards in Big East history by a true freshman with over 1,100 yards. He ranks first and third for most touchdowns in a season and ranks second for most receiving yards by a running back with 360. Slayton scored the most touchdowns by a WVU player when he posted 6 against Louisville on October 15, 2005. Against Pitt, he became the first Mountaineer to ever have 100 yards rushing and 100 yards receiving in the same game. Slayton and White became only the third tandem in NCAA Division I history to both rush for 200 yards or more yards in a single game against the Panthers. The 2,015 yards rushing and the 130 yards receiving against Pitt were both career bests for Slayton. He entered the 2008 NFL Draft after his junior season and was selected in the third round by the Houston Texans. Slayton and his wife Kimberly have 2 children. After retiring from football, Steve enrolled in culinary school in Houston and is a personal chef and kitchen consultant. Please join us for a round of applause for 2018 inductee, Steve Slayton.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 10, Steve Slayton.
Thank you, Tony. I wish I had my helmet. I'd be a little bit more comfortable up here. All right. First, I would like to thank West Virginia University Sports Hall of Fame Committee for selecting me into the 2018 class with all these other great nominees. I would like to thank God, my parents, for blessing me to be here on this earth and supporting me throughout my sports journey. My wife Kim, my children, actually 3. One was bad, so I omitted him. Julian, Brennan, and Darla, for being the greatest gift I have. The University of West Virginia for offering me a scholarship and accepting me to be a part of this amazing university. The WVU football staff for my college years for pushing me and my teammates to be the best men on and off the field. You truly deepen my love for the game. All of my old teammates for the brotherhood we built competing every day in practice and in games. And last but not least, all the West Virginia University fans in this great state who made me feel this town was a home away from home. And it will always be great to be a Mountaineer wherever I may be. Thank you, Tony.
Now look around here, man. We got some running backs here. Steve Slayton, Amos Zaraway, and our last inductee. Ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the board as we welcome in Avon Coburn.
Considered one of the greatest running backs in West Virginia football history, Avon Coburn finished his career as WVU's and the Big East rushing leader from 1999 to 2002, becoming the only player in school history to post 4 1,000-yard rushing seasons. A 4-year starter and 4-time All-Big East honoree from 1999 to 2002, Coburn set WVU records for rushing yards in a season and career, most 100-yard games in a season and career, most carries in a season and career, and tied the record for most consecutive 100-yard games and most touchdowns in a career. The Camden, New Jersey native holds the Big East record for most carries in a career, most 100-yard games in a career, and rushing yards in a career. He is one of 23 players in NCAA history to rush for 5,000 yards or more for his career. As a senior in 2002, he finished with over 1,700 yards and 17 touchdowns, earning all Big East first-team honors, and was tabbed a third-team AP All-American. Coburn was signed by the Detroit Lions in 2003 after being undrafted. Coburn then embarked on a 6-year career in the Canadian Football League, beginning with the Montreal Alouettes in 2006. He earned CFL All-Star recognition and was named the MVP of the 2009 Grey Cup. In 2010, he led the Alouettes to their second consecutive Grey Cup, before signing with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in 2011, where he was a CFL All-Star for the third time in his career. Coburn has a degree in marketing from West Virginia. He and his wife Rebecca live in Charleston, West Virginia, with their 3 children. He serves as the Director of Business Development for the Charleston Family YMCA and owns a financial services marketing company. Please join us in a round of applause for 2018 inductee Avon Coburn.
Ladies and gentlemen, Avon Coburn.
Y'all bear with me now. This is a great moment. It is a great day to be a Mountaineer wherever you are. Jesus. This is actually a diamond moment. I mean, think about where we are, West Virginia, cold. This is a diamond moment. Diamonds are formed by pressure all around you. So, first, Most High. My Most High God. I mean, so go with me. So there was drugs, there were shelters, there were creeks, there were heat, there was probation. God, this is your moment. This is your moment, God. This is your moment. There was environmental pressure. Camden, New Jersey. At one time, the most dangerous city. CMD, this is your moment. Parental pressure. Mom, everything we went through, everything that happened, everything that we are, everything that we become, everything that is us. Coach Mebbs, Miss Diane, this is y'all moment right now. This is y'all moment. Man, coaches, my coaches. Coach Mebbs was the first one. He's not here today. He's going through some things, and this is his moment. Coach Madeira, the legend that blessed us with his presence today. Thank you. This is your moment. Coach Stefani, Dave Kern, Spike, Rich Rod, Coach McGee, Coach Dever, Coach Stefani, this is your moment. My football family, offense, defense, special teams. Gary Stills, my locker mate. He is the guy that showed me how to work. He showed me how to work. Z, the one that gave me the battery pack in my back and said, you can do it. This is your show. This is your moment. Tori, Mo, Ben Collins, Church, Dirty, Dayla, AJ, Tim, Free, Faz, JD, Page, Smith, Sanders, Do It, Glove, Phil, Ainge, Strange Ainge, the Choo Choo Chain, G. Wiley, Q. This is your moment, guys. Man, Last but not least, the Coburns, my queen, my rib, my baby, my babe, where my Rebecca Coburn, Keon, Trey, and Nova, which is Avon spelled backwards. This is your moment. To all of the nominees, I mean, to everybody here that's gotten inducted, the people that came before us, to, everybody that I didn't mention and that we all didn't mention because there's so many different people that helped us get to where we are today. We're up here, but this is y'all moment. This is y'all, so celebrate you. Mountaineer Nation, this is your moment. I just thank you guys. I thank everybody that allowed me to get here and everybody else up here. Thank you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you've heard, it truly is a great day to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be. This afternoon we have come together to honor and pay tribute to some of the greatest names to ever represent West Virginia University. They arrived on this campus with dreams and aspirations, and they left with accomplishments that rank among the greatest feats in Mountaineer history. Today they officially join the 27 other classes that have come before them, and as you have heard, this 28th class is a wonderful collection and combination of personalities and stories that do embody the culture of WVU athletics. Some, before they got here, were told that they were too short. Maybe they were too small. Some came simply on a promise that they would be given a chance, and that's all. And each of them took that chance and in true Mountaineer spirit exceeded everyone's expectations except perhaps their own. And for that, we are all grateful. Their memories and their accomplishments will live forever in our minds as we join them and their fellow Mountaineers that have come before us to join this very elite group. It truly is the highest honor for any WVU athlete or coach. It is the pinnacle of the mountaintop. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me now as we formally introduce and induct the West Virginia University Hall of Fame class of 2018. Thank you all so much for being with us. Have a wonderful afternoon, and let's go, Mountaineers.